Hey y'all, this is Philly the Learn to Grow guy. Today we have a very important topic and it is the Jerusalem artichoke, also known as the fartichoke. Did you hear that? It's called the fartichoke. Okay, today we're going to take a look at how I eat it sometimes, what you can do about eating it, and also where I plant them. The Jerusalem artichoke, also known as Fartis the Jerusalemus. I'm just kidding with that, okay? I'm just kidding with that. That is not the scientific name for it. Okay, but anyway, the Jerusalem artichoke. It's a tuber. It grows. Well, I call it a tuber. It grows underground, and basically, what you're gonna get is when you plant these, it's gonna shoot up a plant that looks very much like a sunflower plant, okay, and it's going to make multiple little heads of sunflowers. Okay, that's not what you eat. That's not where this comes from. This comes from underground. The top stuff, the birds may eat whatever is there, and whatever else may eat whatever is there. Keep in mind that deer also love Jerusalem artichoke for some unknown reason. Okay, I don't quite get it, but they do. So with that said, the Jerusalem artichoke, when you plant it on the ground, things like what is that? Wireworms like to try to get to it, and there's maybe other various things like voles, moles may even try to eat this thing also. I don't get it though. If when I eat it, I may get gas, but those little critters on the ground when they eat it, they don't get gas. I don't get that. I don't get that. So anyway, the thing that causes you to get gas is it's actually called inulin, I believe it is. Okay, and basically inulin, if my memory serves me correct, is like a what's that? It's a hydrocarbon sugar. It's one of not hydrocarbon. It's a carbonic sugar of some sort, and basically it's very hard for our system to digest unless our systems are accustomed to it. So therefore, for me, I eat these raw. Okay, I typically eat these raw, but you can also cut these up into small pieces, put them in stir fry, and enjoy them that way. Some people have also cleaned them up. Of course, you got me. I peeled mine off, uh, but some people go ahead and clean them off and they cut them up into like fries and they may bake them. You can roast these also, a little garlic and whatever else you may, whatever other type of seasoning you may like. But the best type of seasoning you could use is some seasons that may also help you with digestion. Okay, I'm saying that because that may also help with breaking down the sugars that the sugar insulin or inulin, not insulin, inulin. Okay, and this is not rich. This is not high in sugar as far as I can figure by when I taste it, or when I eat it. Okay, if you're gonna try to plant this per acre, you can actually get like 15 tons of this stuff. Okay, that's a lot of farts. I'm sorry, that's a lot of gas that you may produce in your stomach. But again, that's only if you are not accustomed to it and if you do not prepare them right. One of the other things you can do with this actually is that you can actually boil them. Okay, you can boil them. Some people say that you can give it a nice slow cook for 12 hours, and to me that's just ridiculous. But there's other things you can do. Such some people say you can just boil them, give them a good hard boil for 15, 20 minutes, or maybe even an hour, and that'll get rid of the inulin. That'll get rid of the gassy portion of it. Okay, like I said, for me, I typically eat them raw. This is good food as far as I'm concerned, and if you plant these throughout your property, throughout your home and such, what you're going to get is some plants that people are not accustomed to. So if you're if you're a prepper, you plant these around your property. Yes, they'll produce the sunflower looking heads and such. They may also attract deer. Okay, but if you plant those, most people walk right by them. They think they're just a nice little pretty flower, not knowing what is actually buried underground. Okay, so let's take a look and see what I've got here. Okay. Okay, you remember my buddy. Now, this is the Jerusalem artichoke that I've cut up. Okay, I've already started cutting some of this up, and these are some of the slices that I've actually sliced. Makes sense, right? Okay. Jerusalem artichoke tastes a little nutty. I wouldn't say sweet. It's like a chestnut, water chestnut. One of those plants that you can stir fry with. Okay. It actually tastes pretty good. This is what I've done with mine. I peeled the skins off. Okay. It's just the skin. This is like root stuff, root material on it. That's just the skins here. But otherwise, it actually tastes pretty good. If you're new to Jerusalem artichokes, okay, and you want to eat them raw like I do, Just make sure you start up with a little bit at a time, okay? Start up with a little bit at a time. Do not overdo it. Now, I guess the question is, will I be gassed up by the time I'm done with this? Only time will tell. You may have to stand by or listen up, but either way it goes, this is good food. Here, check this out. Okay, these are what I grew last year, and I'm gonna show you where I harvested these from. Okay, this is from a 2 foot like little road that I had. It was like a 2 foot road. That's where I got these out of. Now keep in mind that throughout the winter I have been harvesting some of these out of the ground and snacking on them. You can store these underground if you do not have storage facilities for them, and they should last you for quite a while. Okay, you see this little shriveled up thing here, look like a turd that you find in the wood? It's actually one of these Jerusalem artichokes when you do not store them properly, okay? If you store them in your kitchen, you have them sitting on the countertop, this is what you're going to end up with, something soft, mushy, something that you're not going to want to eat. But if you keep them underground like I did, this was underground all winter long, okay? And it's nice, firm, ready to be planted, okay? Ready to be planted or ready to be consumed. All right, so you got to store them properly. Some people will take a bunch of these, dig them up, and put them inside of bins, and put, for example, I'm sorry, they put a layer of sand down, and they put a layer of these down, another layer of sand on top of that, and another layer of these down. And basically they have layers of the Jerusalem artichokes that they've harvested, and they keep them in the garage because it's a nice, cool place. Again, you don't want to store them out in the open, even in a refrigerator. You don't want to keep them in the refrigerator just sitting out like this either. Oops, excuse me. That gas came up the wrong way. It didn't come up. It didn't come up from the other end. Okay, so that doesn't count. Okay, so you don't want this. This is what you want. Either leave them buried underground on your land, in your garden, or put them in totes with sand, layers of sand, and things of that nature. Otherwise, like I said, this is what I grew last summer. And today, I mean, what's that? Towards the end of March of 2025 now. And this is still looking good even though it was on the ground. Okay? Now, last year, there's a lady whose husband is a cobbler down in my neck of the woods. She gave me another variety of Jerusalem artichoke, okay? And I believe that this year I will take her some of the Jerusalem artichokes that I have so she can plant them and take a look and see what she's able to grow out of them, okay? Last year, what I also did is that I also planted some Jerusalem artichoke down the aisle here because I had some Jerusalem artichokes growing in other areas and they were not doing that well. So I decided to dig them up because I've got some very tough clay soil out here, y'all. Okay, and I'm working on fixing that up, but topic for another day. But let me show you something. This is where I planted them last year. Okay, you see those little sticks sticking out the ground? That's them. That's some of them that I grew. Okay, and this year I'm either looking at putting them over there in this first row or that last row there. Okay, and the reason for that is I want them to get plenty of sunlight so that they can produce as much as they can, but at the same time, I don't want them blocking out sunlight from the other plants I'm going to be planting. Now, I'm going to take a look and dig up and see what we can find here. And for those of you that are curious about what these are, I went through here maybe about a week or so ago, yeah. I spread out some mustard seeds because somebody had suggested that I try putting mustard seeds on my beds to get control of those wireworms, and I can't stand those things. I really can't stand them. So anyway, I went on and I sprinkled some all throughout some of the beds here. If you've had success pertaining to mustard greens growing in your garden and having success in them keeping wireworms in check, let me know. I mean, you can put a note there, in the note area of this, well, you know that stuff better than I do, okay? You can always drop me a note pertaining to that and saying, yes, I've had success with it. Otherwise, the only other thing I know of, I know we're sidetracking. The only other thing I can think of that will work against his wireworms is beneficial nematodes, okay, which is something else I'm going to be trying. All right, so let's take a look and see. Well, let's see. Did any of them take? Okay, this is a big bust. I'm assuming that they did not make it because, like I said, it was last fall when I decided to try to transfer these over. And if that's the reason, it is what it is. Oh, see that wireworms? I can't stand these things. Kill the wireworm! Kill the wireworm! I gotta pause. I can't let you guys witness murder. Although we've come to the end of the road, but I can't let go. Rest in peace, wireworm. Back to our digging. And I really hope that singing that I tried to do didn't scare y'all too bad. Wait, what am I feeling? Yeah, last year's plant, but nothing new. Looks like these didn't have enough time to do what they were supposed to do from last fall. So, but either way it goes, I tried. Sometimes, remember, gardening is nothing more than an experiment, okay? Sometimes you succeed and sometimes you don't. And if you don't succeed, you don't eat, man. You don't eat. Okay, looks like none of these, well, I can't say none of these. I still have a few left. But the way it's looking is that these did not make it. And that's fine. That's fine. I got plenty more to plant for this year. And we'll take a look and see. Maybe this one did a little something. Let's find out. Nope. Nada. Nada. Okay. These here on this particular area was a total flop from last year. Everything that I thought I had tried to save last year over here by trying to get them transplanted here, looks like all those was nothing more than a big failure. Okay, now I'm going to take you to the place where I actually planted a lot of them last year and show you where I dug up the ones that I just shared with you. Stand by. Okay, this is site 0. This here is where I planted all of my Jerusalem artichokes last year, okay? I've harvested this last year, and the area is like from this stick here over to here. That's only about 3 feet, okay? This is where I harvested my Jerusalem artichokes. Now, I thought I did a very thorough job yesterday in digging those out. And the thing about Jerusalem artichokes is this, okay? They pretty much say that once you plant them, you will always have them. Now, therefore, I try to do a thorough job of digging them out as I could, because over here I actually want to plant peanuts this year. And same with over on that little raised bed right there, okay? So let's take a look. I've got my shovel. And let's see what we can take a look here. Last night I dug these out by hand because shovels will do damage to them. And since I'm doing the one-arm bandit thing, here we go. Let's see. And these are leaves from when I did my, oh, see, look, here's one. Oh, man, look at this here. Okay. Jerusalem artichoke. Smaller Jerusalem artichoke. This one started to come up. Okay. Like I said, once you put them in the ground, they say that you'll always have Jerusalem artichokes. All right. See that? That's another plant. And you can also cut these up. For example, like this here, you've got a little, whatever you call that, a little tip that's trying to grow. Pretty much like you have in, what is that? In ginger. See that? Shovel damage. I just did that. All right. Another piece. Oh, a little tiny one. Look at that. Oh, that's so cute. Anyway. That's from here. Let's take a look under here. Yep, there's still more here. Okay. Like I said, once you go Jerusalem artichoke, well, I won't even continue that. That's the other piece that was damaged by the shovel. Okay. But Jerusalem artichokes, like I said, they taste pretty good. And The leaves was from my leaf harvest video, if you saw that. But they're all in here. Oops, looks like I broke one. Oh, look at that. Nice wormy. Hey, worm. If I was a Cookie Monster, I'd say I'll go ahead and munch on it, but I'm not Cookie Monster. See that? More Jerusalem artichokes. Some of them are trying to grow. Well, I'd say most of them are trying to grow. But these are another one. Look at that. Okay. There's more in here. Don't be fooled. Found out that they go deep underground sometimes. And see, this is the reason why I have some issues with what's that, mushroom compost, because it seems like they toss everything in there, everything and its mama in there, and that's what they try to, and that's what they sell you. And I'm just not into the just get everything thing. Okay, but Jerusalem artichokes, y'all. I'm gonna try one more shovel to see what we can get. Let's see, anything in here. Ooh, nice thick juicy worm though. Look at these. Okay, anyway, having worms in your soil is a very good thing to have, because it truly shows that you got life. And worms also serve as a means of leaving worm castings behind, and that's just fertilizing your garden even more. Okay, so the goal would be for me to move these leaves out of the way. So, oh, look at that. See that? Looks like they're coming up here for the leaves. Again, this is another good reason why you should be collecting your leaves in the fall. I mean, you can go into your woods and harvest them and get you some of your leaves. And now look at that. Oh. Hey, wormy. Yeah, I think they're feasting on the leaves, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong. Look at that. Here's another one. Man, they were all over. Sweet. Only if it was like that all over the garden. All over the property, you know, getting rid of some of that hard stuff that I look at that. Yeah, they're up here for the worms. I mean, for the leaves. I just hope they didn't eat up my Jerusalem artichokes, that's all. Yeah, so either way it goes, my viewpoint, I still have all those Jerusalem artichokes here. May need to go deeper, because I know in the other one I had to go deeper. In that one that I dug up yesterday, I had to go deeper to come up with some of the artichokes. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Jerusalem artichokes, and grow them. Beware of inulin, because it may make you gassy. If you're going to eat them raw, even if you're going to cook them, you want to start slowly. Don't eat too much at one time. Excuse me. Don't eat too much at one time. What's another one? You can boil them for 45 minutes to an hour, and then you can cut them up. You can bake them, roast them. This is where you can do something like Forrest Gump. You can roast them, you can boil them, you can chop them, you can... Okay, I'm not Forrest Gump, so... I'm sorry, I'm not Bubba. Anyway, y'all take care. Okay. And enjoy.